get your family and get back to the airport, ASAP, because the plane's gonna leave. So my dad knew that if he didn't leave Vietnam and he worked for the U.S. government, he would be probably put in prison for life, or he'd probably be killed. And so he called home and told my mom, get your family and get back to the airport, ASAP, because the plane's gonna leave. So my dad knew that if he didn't leave Vietnam and he worked for the U.S. government, he would be probably put in prison for life, or he'd probably be killed. And so he called home and told my mom to get everyone packed. And my mom put everything we had as important into one suitcase. And my dad came home and picked us up. We had $100, and we headed out to the airport. And we missed the last plane, and they brought in one more last plane. And finally, we got on the last plane, and we flew out of there. And we left all of my aunties and my grandmas and all my cousins in Vietnam. But this is destiny. This is what I think higher power is. We were destined to be here. I was destined to be in the U.S. My cousin I wasn't destined to be there. We went there to go pick them up, but they weren't home. None of my cousins, none of my auntie, none of my grandma was even home when we went to pick them up. And that's to show you sometimes, make you think sometimes, is this higher power greater than us? And so my family was the one who was blessed to go over to the U.S. And so when I look back sometimes today, as I'm making a lot of money, I support my family in Vietnam. I send a lot of money back to them. I help my grandma. I help my auntie. I buy houses over there for them to live. And, sometimes I think, DJ, like, I wonder if God actually had that all planned for me to come to the U.S. and then had me become successful and have me the guy to have the heart to make money, but then the heart to actually give back. And it made me wonder sometimes, and I just go with the flow, as in, if that's the plan, I'm flowing with it because I actually enjoy that plan. And so, anyway, we landed in San Diego, and we stayed in a shelter there called Camp Pennington for a few months, and then we got shipped up to Washington State, and we stayed in the shelter here for a few months over in Tacoma, and finally, my dad got a job as a custodian in Seattle. And we rented this little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. And for all 8 of us, we live in this house. And that's where I started my life. I started in, if you guys know, in Seattle, in the Valley, which is where all the, minority live. And I started there just like an ordinary kid, and, had paper routes and worked at restaurants and valet parking cars and Safeways. And, went to school. I graduated from high school with like 2.8 GPA, so I wasn't the smartest kid in the block. And when I graduated from college in 1991 as an A&P mechanic, I really didn't have this passion to really leave Seattle to go work on an airplane. And this is a sign I want to show you guys. At that moment, when I look back today, I realized I didn't have an inspiration. And my brother and them like aviation, so they all went for United Airline and some of these airline companies. But for some reason, I didn't have the passion. And I had a job opportunity to go work for Alaska Airline out in Midwest. And I decided I don't want to go there. And I decided that I want to do something different. And one day, I'm sitting at a Chinese restaurant where I'm parking cars. And my friend said, you should consider selling real estate. And I was like, why? She's like, well, you got a good mouthpiece. And I think you would do well at it. And it's interesting. Back then, I didn't notice this because I wasn't very attuned into my emotion and my feelings and my consciousness. And so when I look back today, I had an inspiration to be in sales. And that inspiration is what got me going, okay. And I signed up to go get my real estate license in 1991. I was the youngest agent ever hired in the state of Washington. And when I got into real estate, I met a gentleman named Mike Ferry, who was a real estate coach in Newport Beach, California. And he says, if you want to be successful, there's only 2 ways you're going to be able to be successful. One, you can sit around and you can wait for the opportunity to come knock on your door. And he said the chance of that happening is slim. Or two, you can go out there and door knock the opportunity and make it happen, which is what, behind your wall, DJ, is FOD, right? I think that was financial on demand or something like that.
Flipping on demand.
Flipping on demand, right? And I have a company called Destiny by Design, and so I didn't realize all this stuff that I was part of back then. And so I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna sit around waiting for the opportunity to come knock on the door. I want to go out there. How do I do it?" And the man says, "I want you to memorize these scripts. And I want you to make 100 flyers of homes that your company sold. And I want you to go door knock 100 houses a day. And when you don't stop until you door knock all 100 doors a day. And I want you to read the script to them, right? But make sure you have it memorized. And then just say, hey, my name is Thatch. I work for John F. Scott Real Estate. And I was wondering, have you ever thought about selling your home?" And they say yes, then follow these other words. Great. I like to help you, all this kind of stuff, right? And I was like, well, that's it. That's easy. Because I was already hungry. I might not be the smartest kid in the block, but I was hungry. And to me today, someone who is hungry will run circles around someone who is smart and not hungry. Okay? And I see that today as I teach a lot of people, and I realize there's a lot of people who are smart. There's a lot of people who are very talented, but if you ain't got hunger, you ain't got determination, then really you ain't gonna go that far. So I used to get up in the morning. I used to go and park my car, and at 9 o'clock, I make sure I will hit that first door at 9 o'clock, and I would door knock, you guys, and make sure I pass out all 100 flyers. And it used to take me about 5 hours a day to door knock all 100 doors and talk to 100 people a day, asking them would they sell their home. And I did that Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. And it took me 5 hours a day. And I did it every day for 10 years straight. In the rain, in the snow, in the sun, with dog chasing me, with gangbanger chasing me, you name it. I've seen it all on the streets. And I did it for 10 years. But the success behind that is, as I did it my first 3-4 years, I started making $1 million a year selling real estate. And that's where, my money started coming in selling real estate. And then I met some great mentor, a good friend of mine named Saul. He's the owner of my John F. Scott today. He's like, listen, dude, you could be rich selling real estate. But if you want to be wealthy, you got to own real estate, brother. You got to own real estate. It's like when you're sleeping and the tree outside is growing, and that thing is growing and growing, and you ain't doing nothing other than if the water the trees, that thing is growing for the rest of your life. And you got to own real estate. Because real estate is like that. If you own real estate, it'll grow when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, when you're at work. It don't matter. It was growing. And I was like, oh, Saul, help me out. And so Saul made a commitment. He said, I will teach you how to do it, but you got to execute the plan. And my plan was I had to buy one rental house every year minimum for the first 3-4 years. And so as I was making my commission checks, I used to save my money, and I used to buy one rental house, right, for the first 1 or 2 years. Then when I had extra money, I bought 2 rental houses every year. Then I bought 3 rental houses every year. I bought 4 rental houses every year. And I just started doing that since 1990. I bought my first house in 1997. And today, I still buy today. And I built apartment buildings and everything. So today, you guys, I have a team that sells residential real estate for John F. Scott. But I spend a lot of my time today buying houses, flipping them for sale. But majority of the houses that I buy today, I don't flip them. I actually fix them up, and then I refinance it, and then I keep them as rental property. And then I built some new construction. Some of the new construction I sell, and some of them I keep. And then I built an apartment building, and I keep all the apartment building for rent. And my inspiration right now is in the next 10 years is to have 1,000 doors that pay me $1,000 a month. And that's my benchmark right now. For the next 10 years right now, that's my goal right now, is to hit that benchmark. And who knows when I get to that benchmark 10 years from now, what's next? I don't know. I don't really care, but it's just a fun little destination for me to to set forth this goal and just chase after it. And right now I have about almost 150 doors right now. And so my goal is to get to 1,000 doors in the next 10 years. And one of the ways I'm going to do that is I'm going to build more apartment buildings. And that's how I'm going to get there. So, but that is my real estate side that I do. But the thing that really is my purpose down here in life, my purpose down here in life is to inspire people and show them through my own life experience and my own life journey that anything is possible. That's part of my brand. Anything is possible. Part of my other brand is dream big. And dream big to me, you guys, mean that anything outside the norm is dream big. And then lastly, my other brand is contribution. If you really want true fulfillment in life, you want to go out there and make a difference to others. You want to go out there and involve others. You want to go out there and see how you can contribute and help support and contribute to the people out in the world, because really at the end of the day, you guys, it is bigger than us to give you the true fulfillment in life. And I tell you from experience, the more you can contribute into the world, the more advocate, supporter, believer, and followers you will have in your life. And the more advocates you have in your life, you guys, I'm telling you, anything become possible. That's the reason why Oprah Winfrey is such a powerful influence in the world, because she has millions and millions and millions of followers, supporters, and advocates for her. And she's the kind of person where if she wanted to, she can just basically say, we are going to do this in America. We're going to do this in South Africa. We're going to save this world, this country. And all she had to do is hit send, and all her advocate and contributor in the world will come and support. And if you want to make a lot of money, I'm telling you right now, have lots of advocates, believer, and follower in your corner. And how do you have a lot of those? Go out in the world, instead of doing anything out there all about you. When you go out there and look for a deal and find deal and do deal, see how you can make it a win-win situation, how you can make a difference to people out there, especially people you buying houses from. Instead of going out there trying to rob them, go see what is going on with them, what the situation is, see how you can actually help them or service them or contribute to them. And if one of the way how you can solve and contribute them is to buy their property, bam, more power to you. But if someone who doesn't want to sell their home and there is a way to help refinance their home and have them keep it, I think the higher noble thing to do is to see how you can help that person save their house. And that's how I have done it for many years. And by doing that, you guys, I get tons of opportunity to come back to me tenfold, because it's living a life of contribution. And that's the brand I want to continue to teach people. You can have a lot of money, but you do it through contribution, not through self. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to open it up for DJ or anyone else that want to ask any question or any sorts of thing. Feel free to.
Hey, Thatch. Spot on, man. And one thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that, if you heard Thatch talk about, in fact, what we share with our academy or Flipping Academy students and brand partners is, really servant selling, right? Like how can you, when you get an investor on the phone, find out, instead of just, hey, we can get you a deal, you want a 3-bed, 2-bath, you want it to make this much. It's not about the deal. It's about what the deal can do for them, right? So sometimes people will, sometimes people will say, hey, DJ, I got a guy that wants to get a property and a flip in California. And it's like, well, why does he want a flip in He doesn't want a flip in California. He wants the result of what that flip's going to do for him. So he wants that, be it capital, maybe he wants that money so he can help put his mom in, who's is older, needs to put her in a nursing home. So there's always this deeper reason.
Yes.
And I think you guys, if you hear what Thatch is saying, it goes in line with what we share with you a lot of times, and that is find out how you can serve your clients, find out how you can help them. And if you can find out how you can help them and you spend an hour or two on the phone with them, they're going to sense how much you care about them. And once they sense how much you care about them, rather than just slinging them your stuff, as I say, right? Rather than just slinging your stuff to them, and is serving them. How can I help you? What are you looking for? Because they're really not looking for to buy a rental property. They're wanting to get the result of what having that rental property will get them. In Thatch's case, he needed to have enough rental properties to pay for his lease on his new Rolls Royce Dom. But you know, that wasn't something that Thatch was saying. Well, I need another rental property just to have another rental property. There was a purpose behind it, and so I think if you take one, you know, one of the things away from this call today is that, you know, continue to see how you can serve your investors and how you can help them get the result that they want. The only way that you're going to know that, you guys, is by caring about them, is spending time with them and talking to them and loving on them and saying, hey, tell me a little about what's going on, right? Having that rapport, doing your discovery, and really uncovering what they're wanting, not just taking their word. Well, I want to flip. Okay, great. Like, you can get them a flip. But at the end of the day, is that, you know, you have to look at, like, there's more to it than them just wanting a flip, or